South Africa, the most industrialized economy in Africa, a nation blessed with gold, diamond, coal, and platinum, and some of the richest mineral deposits on earth. For decades, people from across Africa have dreamed of coming here to work, to build a future, to escape poverty, and to chase opportunity. But today, that dream is turning into a nightmare. Across the country, angry crowd has marched through the streets. Foreign-owned shops have been attacked. Workers have been chased away. Families have fled their homes, carrying only what they could hold. And one message echoes louder than all the others: they are taking our jobs. Millions of South Africans are unemployed, young graduates searching for jobs for months, sometimes years without success. Many believe the reason is simple: too many foreigners, too few jobs. But is it really that simple? Or is South Africa living with a problem that began long before today's immigrants arrived? How did Africa's strongest economy become one of the most unequal societies on earth? Why do businesses continue hiring foreign workers even while millions of South Africans remained unemployed? And why do people from Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Malawi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Somalia, Ethiopia, and many other countries continue risking everything to come here? The answers are not found in today's headlines. They are buried deep in history. A history of colonialism, of gold, of apartheid, of broken promises, and an economy that still carries the scars of its past. This is not a story about blaming foreigners, nor is it a story about blaming South Africans. It is the story of how history, politics, economics, and human survival collided to create one of Africa's most difficult questions: who deserves the opportunity of South Africa, those who were born there or those who crossed borders, simply trying to survive? To answer that, we have to travel back in time, back to an era before modern cities, before democracy, before apartheid, before the skyscrapers of Johannesburg touches the sky. To the moment when the discovery of two precious minerals changed the destiny of an entire nation. Long before South Africa became an economic giant, its land was home to many African kingdoms. Communities farmed, raised cattle, traded with neighbors, and built their own society over generations. Life was changing slowly. Then Europeans arrived. First came the Dutch settlers, later the British Empire. At first, they wanted land, trade routes, and political control. But everything changed when something far more valuable was discovered beneath the ground: diamonds, then gold. Almost overnight, South Africa became one of the most important places in the world. And with that discovery, its future changed forever. The discovery of diamonds in 1867 and gold in 1886 did more than to make South Africa rich. It transformed the entire country. People came from every corner of the world: investors, engineers, merchants, fortune seekers. Everyone wanted a piece of South Africa's wealth. But there was one problem: the mines needed workers, not hundreds, not thousands, hundreds of thousands. The solution was simple: pay black African workers very little, house them in crowded compounds, separate them from their families, and keep their profit flowing upward. The richer the mines became, the richer the companies became, but the workers remained poor. Mining companies did not simply build an industry, they built an entire labor system. A system where millions of black workers provided hard labor, while wealth was concentrated into the hands of a small minority. The system would later become one of the foundations of apartheid. Johannesburg rose from dusty fields into one of Africa's largest cities. Railways stretched across the country. Factories appeared. Banks expanded. International businesses arrived. From the outside, South Africa looked unstoppable. But beneath the economic miracles, another reality was taking shape. The people creating wealth were often the last to benefit from it. Millions could work, but few could own land. Few could own businesses. Very few could decide their own future. The economy was growing, opportunity was not. Then, in 1948, everything changed. A political system called apartheid became official law. Apartheid means separateness. But in reality, it was much more than separation. It controlled where people lived, where they worked, where they studied, who they could marry, which hospital they could enter, even which beaches they could visit. Your future was decided by the color of your skin. Black South Africans were forced to carry past books. Without permission, they could not move freely. Many spent months working in cities while their families remained 100 kilometers away. The economy needed their labor, but their system did not want them to share its wealth. Education was also divided. White schools received more funding, better buildings, better teachers, better equipment. Black schools received far less. Millions of children grew up without the same opportunities. Not because they lacked talent, but because the system was designed to keep them behind. For decades, this became the normal way of life. A powerful economy built on deep inequality. Factories expanded, export increased, the country became richer, yet millions remained trapped in poverty. Then the world began pushing back. Countries imposed sanctions. International companies faced pressure. Protests grew stronger. In South Africa, millions demanded freedom. The old system could not survive forever. After decades of struggle, apartheid finally collapsed. In 1994, South Africans stood together in long line waiting to vote. For the first time, every citizen could choose their government. The world celebrated. Many believed a new chapter had finally begun. But ending apartheid did not end the economic legacy. The political system had changed. The economy would take much longer. Freedom had arrived, but jobs did not. When apartheid ended, the world celebrated. Millions believed South Africa was entering a new beginning. Freedom had arrived. The right to vote, the right to own land, the right to dream, but freedom alone could not erase 300 years of inequality. The new government inherited an economy where millions had been denied quality education, jobs opportunity, and a chance to build wealth. Changing laws was fast. Changing reality would take generations. Today, South Africa remains Africa's most industrialized economy. It produces cars, steel, chemical, food, financial services, and some of the world's most valuable minerals. Yet, despite all this wealth, millions of people still wake up without work. Youth unemployment is among the highest in the world. For many young people, finding a job feels almost impossible. At the same time, people from across Africa continued arriving at South African borders. Some escaped economic collapse, others flee war, political violences or hunger. Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Malawi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Somalia, Ethiopia, Nigeria, many arrived with nothing except hope. Hope that somewhere someone will give them a chance. So, why do many businesses hire foreign workers? The answer is more complicated than most people think. Some immigrants accept low wages because earning something is better than earning nothing. Some work longer hours, some bring special skills, others start their own business instead of waiting to be employed. There are also employers who illegally hire undocumented workers because they believe they can pay them less or avoid labor rules. Not every employer does this, but it happens, and when it does, it creates unfair competition for everyone. For many South Africans, this reality is painful. Imagine spending years looking for work only to see someone else get the opportunity. The frustration is real, but frustration often searches for someone to blame. Foreigners became the most visible target, not because they created South Africa's economic problems, but because they are easy to see than corruption, poor governance, electric shortages, slow economic growth, or years of underinvestment in education and job creation. The truth is, no country can arrest its way out of unemployment, and no country can solve economic problems simply by blaming its neighbors. Jobs are created when businesses grow, when electricity is reliable, when education matches the needs of industry, when investors have confidence, and when governments fight corruption and create an environment where companies can expand. That is how lasting employment is created. This does not mean immigration should have no rules. Every country has the right to protect its borders, to enforce its law, and to ensure that employment is fair and legal. But history shows that lasting solutions require more than anger. They require good policy, strong institutions, and an economy that grows faster enough to create opportunities for both citizens and those who legally came seeking for work. South Africa stands at a crossroads. One path leads to deeper division, where citizens and immigrants see each other as enemies. The other path asks a harder question. How can a nation with so much wealth create opportunity for the millions still waiting for their chance? That question cannot be answered by violences nor by slogans. It must be answered through leadership, through economic growth, and through the difficult work of building a future where opportunity is not so scared that neighbors begin fighting over it. South Africa's story is not simply about foreigners. It is about history, it is about inequality, it is about an economic still carrying the weight of its past. Because in the end, people do not leave their homes unless they believe somewhere else offers a better chance. And people do not turn against their neighbors unless they feel their own future is slipping away. The challenge of South Africa is not choosing between citizens and immigrants. It is building an economy strong enough to give hope to its own people while managing immigration fairly and according to the law. The future of South Africa will not be decided by who crosses its borders. It will be decided by how the nation creates opportunities within them. History explains how we got here. Leadership will decide where South Africa goes next. This is Afrimedia Network Lens. My name is Bella. Thanks for watching.